What it do, YouTube? I have a fun little episode that I had the last episode that I did. Um, Obviously, I basically posted a poll on my story and was like, "Hey, what would you guys like to see?" And it was tied for the reaction video that I did and this video. However, uh, I personally wanted to do something different, something I haven't exactly done before. So I did the reaction video first, and this is the video that I'm going to do as the second video of the week. Basically, if you've already seen the title of the video, we're going to get a little nerdy in here. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, please go like, subscribe, click those buttons. It's only two buttons that you got to click. It takes you no more than a couple seconds. It helps me out, and it doesn't cost you a dime. All right. So, my intros aren't long. So, without further ado, also, if you know me, so one of my favorite Josh wines is the bourbon barrel aged Cabernet. This time I got a bourbon barrel aged, but it's a different brand. So this is Stave and Steel. I've had them before, and they're actually pretty good. And they had a sale for them, so I decided to get it. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get that started. Ooh, my aux cord got caught. And wonderful. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, this is definitely going to be a fun episode because I get to talk about a lot of things that I have interests in, whether it be hobbies, whether it be things that I watched as a kid, whether it be stuff that I still do today. Yeah, let's nerd out a bit. Let's nerd out. What I want to do, I do want to get interactive with my live. I want to ask people what they nerd out about, or like what hobbies that they have that they really get into that may come off as nerdy or geeky or whatever have you. And I know there's plenty of people out there with a lot of hobbies, and of course a lot of people out there with similar hobbies, such as myself. I guess I'm gonna touch on like my top 3 nerd hobbies / activities / interests. So I also have physical objects, like actual things, not necessarily props, but just things that are a physical representation of my nerd hobbies and the things that I like to do to please my nerdy side. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit about a little bit of what I have, and also show you and talk to you about a little bit of what I do or how I enjoy these said nerd activities. Nice. All right. So the first nerd activity and nerd hobby that I partake in on a daily is anime. Anime is one of my first and biggest nerd hobbies. I would say, I guess playing the game is low-key a nerd hobby, but I mean, I don't really play the game a lot. And then when I do play the game, it's only like 1 or 2 select games, mainly one, which is Call of Duty. But the funny thing is, I think that it's become, especially with social media, it's become a very more common norm that that anime is not a geeky or not a revolting hobby or activity. Like, watching anime has become very popular. And I think that watching anime has become very popular recently because of not only social media, but I think that a lot of people started to speak out and about watching anime, about being interested. And I think that with certain aspects of social media that I deem, or I personally believe, are both positive and negative, started to play onto the whole aspect of anime and cosplay and stuff like that. And I think that it started to become more socially acceptable as the years have gone by. Now, for me personally, I was watching anime back when it wasn't cool, when it wasn't widely accepted, when people would make fun of you for watching anime. And I used to watch anime back in the day, and I watched anime at a time where you didn't want to tell the majority of people around you that you watched anime. Like, that was grounds to get either bullied, made fun of, or both. So I don't want to say I don't want to sound old, but like, yeah, I started watching anime, like real anime, like not the mainstream ones that would come on Toonami or Cartoon Network or late at night, on regular television. I started watching like true anime. Like the first anime I ever watched outside of Dragon Ball Z or Naruto was an anime called Clanad, and it was a slice of life, very small hint of supernatural romance anime, and I loved it. And I did not tell anybody back then that I was watching that, because if they would have watched what I was watching, they would have been like, "Yo, what is this shit? Like, what are you watching?" So I started watching that. I was 15 or 16, so back in 2012, 2013 was when I started watching like actual like non-mainstream anime, and ever since then, like my love for it just took off. And then when I got to college in 2015, it was like I got to college, and shout out to Q. This is my freshman year of college. I was at the gym, at the wellness center at my college gym, and I was watching an anime clip, and he walked behind me, and then he was like, "What are you watching?" And I had just watched like some sports clip, like right before I watched whatever I was watching. So I quickly went back to it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm watching basketball highlights." He said, "Hey, bro, don't do that." And I was like, "What you mean?" He was like, "I seen it, anime. I watch a little bit too. Like, if that's what you like to watch, then you like to watch it. Like, don't bank on nobody else like trying to accept what other people think you should be watching or whatever. You like what you like, and don't let nobody punk you out of that." And when I heard that, I was like, you know what? You right. And I respected him for that. And mind you, Q was someone who was respected in our college. Like, he was someone who came from like the hood, try to get out of that and get a better education and get a better position for himself. So yeah, like he was at a college, but like everyone respected him. He had street cred, the whole nine, like someone you would respect in the streets and in a professional like setting. And he told me that, and I was like, all right, bet. So I'm gonna take his words to heart, because I mean, at the end of the day, he's right. Like, you like what you like. Don't worry about what nobody else got to say. So anime is probably my biggest guilty pleasure, and I don't even call it guilty pleasure no more, because like I said, it's become mainstream and acceptable to like anime nowadays. And like I said, that was back in 2015, where like some people found out I watched anime and they called me weird for it. And then now in 2025, 10 years later, it's almost everybody watches it. Like just about everybody. And if you say it out loud, no matter what setting you in, like not a lot of people is going to think is weird. And even, back in the day, I would be kind of like scared if I was like talking to a girl or whatever. I'd be kind of like nervous about bringing that hobby of mine up, because I know that some might think it's weird, and some might hear it and be like, "Oh, you watch anime? You into that weird stuff?" And now it's like I wouldn't even be scared to say it. My only like thing is like, do you watch it? And now it's almost become like a hot topic to talk about, even on the date. But anyway, I digress. But this is my prop object / the one thing I own that I would say really kind of like is a physical representation of my passion for anime. This is Tensa Zangetsu. If you don't know what that is, anime Bleach Ichigo, the main character, this is his Bankai Zanpakuto. And yes, it is a actual sword. It is full metal. It is very sharp, especially at the end. If I were to stab someone with this, it will do damage. Like this is a full length sword. And like I said, full metal. It's carbon steel. I think it's illegal to sharpen this, especially in this state. In the state of Georgia, I think it might be illegal to sharpen this. But what's crazy is it's already pretty sharp by itself. Like, if I had a home attacker, I could kill them with this. Like, this is serious. And then what's crazy is this is the full length sword. Like, and shout out to my brother Jordan. He bought this for me for was it Christmas? Yeah, Christmas. And mind you, look at this. I personally am 5'10". I'm gonna stand up and show you how tall this is. It comes up to the, like, breaching the lower part of my chest. So this thing is like maybe it's definitely 4 feet, I think. Yeah, it's definitely 4 feet. But yeah, this thing is dope. This thing is seriously dope. And then it has the chain. If you've watched Bleach, this is the chain that wraps around his arm when he activates Bankai that connects to the end of the hilt. And it's a dope sword. I love my brother for getting me this, and I've used it in photo shoots. I've used it in videos. It has definitely become a very dope and cool prop that I've used every occasion that I can. So this is actually one of my favorite possessions, low key. Actually high key. This is pretty dope. But yeah, this is Tensa Zangetsu. There was a smaller version of it, and then I almost got that, and then my brother, he looked up and he said, "What about that one?" And this was sitting on top of a display, one of the display glasses, just like above eye level. And I looked up, and the one I was gonna get was maybe like about, I wouldn't say half the size, like maybe 60% the length of this. And I saw that, and I was like, I like that. So yeah, this is what I got. And like I said, it's a very solid sword. The hilt, everything is actually very nicely built sword, and we got it for a very good price. So this definitely one of the dopest things that I own. And like I said, I've taken photo shoots with it, mind you. Like, if you go on my Instagram, at the Jelani Perkins, this is I have a post. It was for a birthday shoot. A birthday photo shoot that my friend, photographer, producer, director, Philip Wheeler set up. Philip Seraphin, that's what he likes to go by. And we did a photo shoot for my birthday, and I had a outfit, and then I used the sword in a couple of the photos. So this is really dope thing. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, anime is one of my vices. I would like to hear possibly from anyone on the live, like, what is your favorite anime? Because even though I have this, my favorite anime is One Piece. I've mentioned it in a previous podcast episode. Oh, finding messages. Oh, okay. They're just saying they joined. But yes, One Piece is my favorite anime, for sure. I am a big fan of Zoro. To those that don't know, I have 2 phones, one for my live and then my main one that I use for filming because it's a better camera. On my case, it is a Zoro Ashura image with my name custom printed on it. And I also have a Zoro keychain. Like, he's my favorite character in the show, dog. Like, the level of loyalty, me too. Dope. Everyone's in agreement. But yeah, Zoro, he's just so tough, dog. Like, there's so many moments, so many of One Piece's coldest moments, especially regarding the Straw Hats, involve Zoro in some type of way, some way, shape, or form. And I say about 80% of the coldest moments with the Straw Hats include him. But yeah, that's my main one. I would say my next one. The only reason why I have this as my number 2 is because it's probably the one that I've spent the most money on, and also the one that I actively do to this day. Yes, it is also an anime. However, what I partake in is the actual physical game of it itself, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! So, Yu-Gi-Oh! This right here, I have a crap ton of, I have like 3 binders. For different purposes, filled with all types of cards and stuff. But this one is the only... No, I almost lied. I was going to say this was the only Yu-Gi-Oh! Specific binder, but that was about to be a lie. This one was actually gifted to me by a couple of friends of mine, Ashley and Rebecca Wilson. They're a couple of producer and director sisters that I befriended a while ago through another ex mutual friend. But they had found this in their house, and they was like, well, we know you do Yu-Gi-Oh, so do you want it? And there was some cards in there, but I ended up making this my money binder. And what I mean by that is there's not a lot of cards in here. There's maybe six cards in here, and each of these cards are worth over $10. Now I say that, and you may think, oh, so probably like worth $60. No. The total in this binder is worth, so this binder in itself is probably worth 6 cards worth almost $200. 6 cards worth almost $200. So if I open it, the one on the front, you may not be able to see the image that it is, but one of the best packs that ever came out for Yu-Gi-Oh was Ghosts of the Past. And what they did was, of course, there was, the pretty expensive booster boxes, probably one of the most expensive ones I've ever bought. And then there are these called Ghost Rare cards where at a certain angle, you cannot see the image. It's almost like nothing's there. And then I opened the Red Eyes Black Dragon, Ghost Rare, original art. It's such a dope card. This thing's worth like $80. And then, I have a couple of others here. This one was gifted to me by my good friend JR. He's one of the guys that I play Yu-Gi-Oh with on the regular. I think if I were to sell all my cards right now, I would probably make upwards of like $300. Which, mind you, is actually not a lot compared to what the pricing of meta decks are nowadays. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh is an expensive hobby, and that's why I think that, especially for competition-wise, it's not as popular as some of the other ones. Of course, Pokemon can get expensive too, but Magic the Gathering, stuff like that, like what most people play with as far as card games go, a lot of people kind of strayed away from Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's not as popular when it comes to buying those. I used to watch the anime. Speaking of used to, I was so mad because as a kid, I used to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards all the time. And maybe around when I was living in England, around my not that late. Around my 3rd, 4th grade year of elementary school when I was living in England, it started going around that Yu-Gi-Oh was gay. And that Yu-Gi-Oh started to be talked about and started to get bashed, and it was like, yeah, if you own Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you're gay. And I, back then being a kid who just wanted to fit in, I kind of hopped on that train and I got rid of all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And now as an adult looking back, that was a very, very big mistake because I could have very possibly owned some heat, some things that actually would still be worth money today. And I got rid of them. So that's on me. Used to have a dual disc and everything. The ones that pop out, my mom got that for me. I was so hype. But yeah, I actually play this with my homeboys now. It's pretty fun. Now, I would say the third thing that I really nerd out about a lot would probably have to be dinosaurs, Jurassic World. And my physical representation of that are these right here. So these are medallions that I got from Universal Studios. One is of a T-Rex and one is a Velociraptor. It has the dinosaur on the back, and on the front it just has the Jurassic World emblems, of course by Universal. And these are actually like full metal medallions. I got 4 of them, gave 2 to my brother, kept the ones that I really wanted. One of the ones he really wanted was one I was willing to give away, and then he wanted to keep the Velociraptor as well, and I was like, nah, I'm keeping that one. But, yeah, for those of you that don't know, I used to work in Atlanta at a attraction called Jurassic World, and it was basically like this animatronic dinosaur walkthrough experience. Probably one of the most fun jobs that I ever had, and actually did learn quite a bit about dinosaurs while I was there. It was a good learning experience, both in the working world and just for dinosaurs, period. I genuinely enjoyed working there. And then also being someone who's watched all the Jurassic Park movies more times than I can count, all the Jurassic World movies, even the ones that I really did not enjoy. Honestly, the first Jurassic World was solid. It was solid. Like, okay, so if we were to do a ranking of the Jurassic World movies, right? There's 6 right now. Jurassic Parks 1 through 3, and then you have Jurassic World 1 through 3. Jurassic Park, the OG, sits at the top for me. Of course. I would say, honestly, number 2 is Jurassic World 1. The first Jurassic World is probably my second favorite Jurassic Park movie. It is. So Jurassic Park, the OG, the first Jurassic World movie. I would say third would probably be Jurassic Park. What's funny is I kind of go between this because originally I did not like Jurassic Park: The Lost World, which is the second Jurassic Park. I used to think that it was garbage. For some reason, I don't know why I thought that. And then I watched it again while I was working at Jurassic World, and I was like, "Yo, I think I was too harsh on this movie." Because Jurassic Park 2, the Lost World, I don't know, it just had a lot of implementations that we didn't see in the first movie, and even more of what I wish to have seen through the Jurassic World series within the movie. And honestly, I was like, yo, this is actually a pretty solid movie. So honestly, I go back and forth with Jurassic Park 3 and 2. Because like originally I would have put Jurassic Park 3 above number 2 easily. However, that one goes back and forth with me. So I think Jurassic Park 2 and 3 are on even keel like levels for me because they were just 2 completely different movies, different things at stake. And then just the story for both of them wasn't the best, especially compared to the Jurassic Park 1 and Jurassic World. However, I would say that they were entertaining enough to really keep me in there, to really like keep me in my seat. So honestly, Jurassic Park 2 and 3, I can put right above either one. Doesn't matter. I wouldn't regret it. Now, Jurassic World 2 and 3 are the bottom 2 respectively. So Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park 2 and 3, you can just put on that same line. Jurassic World 2 and Jurassic World 3. That's my order. This new Jurassic World, I hope they do it right. I'm not going to lie to you because I will watch just for the dinosaurs. And it's the same thing with the Transformers movies, to be honest. Like, that's one thing I do nerd out about, but to me, I like my nerd like the level I nerd out for Transformers, and I guess my background knowledge of Transformers, about the history, about the canonic events, characters, the storylines is not as strong as like dinosaurs, Jurassic World, anime, stuff like that. So I don't want to say that I'm like a huge fan of Transformers. However, I grew up having the figurines. My first figurine that I got was, I think my first figurine that I went to the store and picked out myself was Blackout. After the first Transformers movie with Shia LaBeouf released, my first one was Blackout. Then I got Starscream, and then my first really big Transformer, my dad got me the Optimus Prime for Christmas, the real big one, the one that had light up and sounds and stuff like that. So those, like, man, I cherish those things, and I ended up getting so many. I got Blackout, Ratchet, Ironhide was my favorite. I got both the Starscream from the first and second movie. I got Megatron, and mind you, I had the Megatron that was like, so my first big one was Optimus Prime, And then my next big one was Megatron, and it was him in the alien starship form, the one you saw him in the first movie. So I had Optimus, Megatron. I mentioned Ratchet, Ironhide, two Starscreams. I got Bumblebee. I got Barricade, Blackout. I had Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher, I had him. I ended up getting maybe a couple more that I can't remember off the top of my head, but no, those were those toys were goated. And I spent a lot of time doing them. At one point, I tried to do a stop motion transformation of Optimus Prime. Oh Lord, I personally did not have the patience for it. I did not. I was doing the stop motion with my dad, and we made it to where his whole right arm transformed. It was dope. It was dope seeing it played back. And then we just stopped. We didn't have the patience for it. Neither of us did. But yeah, that was honestly really cool. But yeah, enough about Transformers. But yeah, dinosaurs was definitely a big nerd out for me. My second, this is fourth. So my fourth big nerd out is Marvel. And I have the Marvel Encyclopedia, updated and expanded, by the way, to show that. And mind you, I am not the biggest Marvel nerd. Like, one thing about social media that I noticed was that there's a lot of people that know way more in depth than I will ever know about Marvel and DC. However, I like to consider myself more knowledgeable than the average person when it comes to Marvel characters, comics. There was a couple of times where I tried to get subscriptions to online Marvel comics and try to read up on them, and I did read quite a few, especially the OG introduction comics to people like Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Captain America, Iron Man, stuff like that. I read the OG comics, and I think I read Civil War all the way through. I read Secret Wars. I read a couple of other things, New Mutants. I read that all the way through. X-Men D-Day. I read all the way through. So there's a couple of things that I really did read and kind of went into. Now, a lot of the information escaped my mind because it's a lot to remember. Shout out to those social media influencers that remember all those things about the Marvel and the DC characters, because that's a lot of information to remember. That is a lot of information. But yeah, I really nerd out about the Marvel, and that's why I love the going to the movie theaters to watch the MCU, and every now and then I'll just go on an MCU binge on Disney Plus, and I just love I love Marvel. Now the last one I want to get into is Harry Potter. It's my mom's fault that I'm a fan of Harry Potter. Let me think. I think I've gone to the movies to see every Harry Potter movie that there is. I have VHS tapes of 1 through 3. I think my VCR still works. I think I still have a working VCR. But I have VHS tapes of 1 through 3. DVDs of the rest. Me and my mother do a Harry Potter marathon every so often. We actually had a Harry Potter themed Christmas this past year. A big Christmas with our family. There's a whole bunch of pictures that we took. Really dope setup. Shout out to my mom for setting that up. And it was just a great time. And then, like I said, Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter. I love doing trivia. I love reading about it. I do want to eventually read the books because I watched the movies for sure. And what's funny is the first book I ever got from a fair was Harry Potter Goblet of Fire. I never read it. I never read the book. And eventually I do want to do that, though. I do want to read the books. This is a ultimate movie quiz, which me and my sister have played against each other twice. She won the first time. I won the second time. We do need to have a tiebreaker. We sure do. But no, it's a really crazy franchise. What J.K. Rowling built will definitely stand the test of time, because that is a story, a world that, I mean, look at Universal Studios. Like, it continues to make crazy amount of money. They're remaking a series. They're making more movies, and it's just one of those things where she created a story and a world that revolutionized magic. Yeah, like magic. Like, if you say the word wizard out in public, the first thing that most people are going to think about is Harry Potter. They will. And then, of course, like, some people may go to the Lord of the Rings route and be like, oh, Gandalf the Grey. Like, come on now. If you say the word wand, wizard, potion, yeah, you may have different answers here and there, but like 80 to 90% of the people that hear those words on the street are going to think of Harry Potter. That's how influential Harry Potter is. So, yeah, I love Harry Potter. I have clothes. I have little trinkets and keychains to Harry Potter, and it's just one of those things that definitely gets. It's probably, I want to say, it's low key like the nerdiest thing that I do rave about. Like, when we go to Universal Studios, we have to go to. We have to go to Diagon Alley. We have to go to Green Gots. We have to go to the Harry Potter themed places, the train station. Like, it's a must. Like, you can't not go if you go down to Universal Studios. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I definitely nerd about like crazy. But yeah, I didn't have too many people stick around the live. But that's just like what I have to show you guys about like myself and what I nerd out about. But yeah, this will be a quick little episode. I enjoyed showing you guys a little bit about me and a little bit about like what gets my brain and, you know, my nerdy side riled up. Yeah, don't let my good looks, charm, and athletics fool you. I'm a nerd to the core. I just happen to have other decent qualities. But yeah, this is kind of just an insight to like me and my other side that I don't necessarily show a lot of people. And it's not that I'm afraid to show anybody, especially anymore, because like I couldn't care less about how anyone thinks of my hobbies or thinks about the things that I like. But it's just one of those things that I like to dive into. So appreciate you guys for taking your time out and joining me on this short episode to, you know, kind of see a little bit about what gets me going and, you know, what I like to do in my free time and stuff like that. So I would love for you guys to comment below about what you guys nerd out about, what you do on your free time, the things that, you know, you love to do. Also, speaking of like relating back to anime, one thing I haven't done yet that I really, really, really want to do is cosplay. I haven't done that yet. For those of you that know who I'm talking about, I'll probably put a picture up. But one of the people that I really want to cosplay as is Ogun from Fire Force, and it would look a lot better if I still had the haircut that I did before I cut all my hair off and started growing it out all around. But I think I could still pull it off with the all around growth anyway. But yeah, I would love to cosplay as Ogun, and I would do like the fluorescent orange body paint all over to symbolize like his fire patterns. But there's a couple of other people that I could probably cosplay as, but that's the number one person I want to cosplay as. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry for the sniffles. I think you know, I was outside earlier with my family for an outside photo shoot, and I feel like something got into my sinuses. And what's funny is it just started crazy like during the podcast. And I was perfectly fine, and now I'm over here sniffling and snipping and trying to keep myself composed. But thank you guys again. Once again, comment below. If you haven't already yet, please go like and subscribe. Please, it helps me out. It doesn't cost you anything. But I'm not going to say thank you again. Until next time, have some more content coming shortly. I definitely want to get more consistent with releasing a couple of episodes a week, and I think I set myself up in a good position to do that. So I'm gonna try to keep that up the best I can. And until next time, guys.